Hi, gay. I'm back on my own again because Louis is still away on holiday. But hopefully, this will just be the last solo episode. And do you know what? Because I had a bit more freedom this time to sort of like go against the grain, I feel like this episode is going to be a bit of a fun format. And the last one, it was a bit it was a bit heavy. Come on, like you may have enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming it. It was a bit heavy, and like sometimes we just need a bit of a giggle. And I decided this time I would do a format called Gay Commandments for 2025. These are like the 10 commandments that we are gonna like live by in 2025 as gays, so that we can be better in 2025 than we were in 2024. Okay. But it's less like self-development, like I roll like last episode where it's like me like ramming like life lessons down your throat. This one's more like looking at the way that we interact with ourselves and gay culture, and just 10 commandments of like how maybe we can look at things a bit differently next year. So I'm being a bit vague. I'm probably not making sense right now, but it will all make sense soon. Okay. So again, gonna time myself so that I don't start like waffling on forever. But I feel like this one's gonna be a bit shorter. But I'm still gonna give myself 3 minutes per commandment. So if I do start to go over, you can just scream and I'll stop. Okay. All right. Without further ado, 10 commandments. Gay commandment number 1. Start stopwatch. Thou shalt not ghost thy Tinder dates without good cause. Look, we've been there. Okay. We go on that one date. We're not blown away straight away. And then they text us the next day because they're a nice person and they've got a lot going for them on paper. And we just don't text them back. We ghost them because we're looking for those sparks. We're looking for those fireworks. Right. Girly pops, let me be real with you. Okay. That infatuation that we feel sometimes isn't always healthy. Just because you have a great chemistry with somebody doesn't mean that they're going to be good to be in a relationship with. Okay. So in 2025, on our dates, we are going to be asking the correct questions. We're going to be asking the questions that we need to know. Is this person capable of being in a great relationship? Even if they don't have the most perfect sense of humor and you're not in fits of laughter on the first date, we're still going to text them back, okay? Because maybe they're a bit shy, maybe they're a bit nervous, maybe you're so hot and sexy, listener, that they're almost intimidated by the magnitude of your presence. And actually, they're a bit shy and you need to give them another chance. So in 2025, we are going to be texting that Hinge, Tinder, Grinder, Field, whatever app it is that you use, we're going to be texting them back if they don't have any red flags. Okay. If you're like, this is bad news, dated guys like this before, fine, I get it. But if they're giving beige flags, if they're giving green flags, we're going to text them back. We're going to give them another chance. Okay. We're going to meet them in a setting that was different from the first setting. We're not going to go for like dinner where it's like fundamentally, awkward, like sitting across from somebody and asking them what their fucking favorite color is. Like, do something a bit more interesting. Like, what is going to bring their personality out a bit more? We're going to try harder with dating in 2025. And thou shalt not ghost thy Tinder dates without a good cause. Okay. The operative part of that being without a good cause. Okay. They've got to be dripping in red flags. Okay. Okay, that was 2.5 minutes, that first one. So I feel like we're gonna make good progress. I'm sure there's gonna be some that are gonna be longer than 3 minutes. You know how me, I just like go on a mad one sometimes. Okay. Gay commandment for 2025, number 2. Thou shalt not judge a twink by his glitter. And what I mean by this is not being nice to people that you're not attracted to is so ugly. Ew. Like, nothing hurts me more than gay people not being nice to each other. Online, I see it so much. We see it out on a night out, like we've experienced it. We've been on the receiving end maybe, or, maybe, you've seen it through a friend, you've definitely seen it online. I just don't like it when gay people aren't nice to each other, okay? And I don't mean this to be like a pick me fucking piece of content where, I'm trying to look like I am some, saint, right? I've probably not been nice to somebody in the past who's tried to hit on me that I am not attracted to, right? But we're going to be nice in 2025. We are going to heal the gay community. We're going to be nice to each other online. We're going to be nice to each other in person. We are going to understand that the baggage that we bring into the gay community, if we are maybe feeling a bit nervous, maybe feeling a bit intimidated, maybe we're a bit shy, okay? Sometimes that can come across as mean. Sometimes you just got to call a spade a spade. Some people are just mean. But we are going to really work on ourselves to try and bring the best version of ourselves into these spaces and just be nice to each other. Like, if there is somebody that you aren't necessarily attracted to or want to be friends with, but you see them in a space and they're like alone or they're not talking to anyone or something, we're going to speak to them and we're going to be nice to them and we're going to boost their confidence. Okay. Because I run the run club gains, right? Some people are so intimidated coming for the first time because of the experiences that they may have had in the past in gay spaces. The first thing that I do if I see somebody standing on their own is I go up to them and I speak to them. Now, I get it. I have got bags of confidence and, it is my thing. So I have more of a responsibility to do that. But it means a lot to somebody that's standing on their own to have somebody go up to them and just strike a conversation. So this year, thou shalt not judge a twink by his glitter. We will be nice to each other. We will go out of our way to speak to gays, even if it means that we are not gonna, be interested in dating them, even being friends with them. We're just gonna speak to them and we're gonna be nice to each other and we're gonna boost each other's confidence. Okay. 2 minutes 44, not bad. Okay. Number 3, thou shalt not let hookups overshow emotional connection. Put your hand up if you've been there. Been there, and I'm not just talking, been there once or twice. I'm talking that was a decade, 20 to 30, me just overshadowing emotional connection with hooking up. Now, look, nothing wrong with a hookup. Go off says, be an ethical slut. But we just need to be more aware, I think. And when I say we, I mean me. We need to be more aware sometimes when we are, not allowing emotional connections to develop in place of a hookup, right? So it's like, are we going on as many dates as we are hookups? Maybe we do a hookup, but we go on a date beforehand with the intention of also having sex afterwards, as long as they know that as well. Again, being an ethical slut. But allowing more of an emotional connection. Maybe you don't kick them out straight away if you have a good time and you keep them in there, in the bed. Maybe they stay over. Why be so scared of spending the night? I mean, I do fart in bed, so maybe that is a valid reason for not having somebody stay over the first night. But, where can we do better to allow ourselves more emotional connection? Because I know you may look at me and you think Connor is the embodiment of Virgin Mary. Like, never have I seen anyone's more pure and demure. Honey, I was Connor the cum dump in my 20s, 30s. I don't want to know your name. I literally have no idea who I had sex with last night. Like, she was a mess, honey. And I'm just being real with you right now. And where did that get me? Absolutely nowhere. So I had to heal my relationship with men. I had to do it differently than I had done in the past. I had to meet people for a coffee first. I had to delete Grindr. And I'm not saying that there's anything fundamentally wrong with Grindr. Like, if you use it, go off sis. But like, where is that taking over and blocking you from an emotional connection? So if you are somebody that potentially wants a partner, are you allowing enough space for it? And if you don't want a partner, that's fine. But is there something that you're potentially avoiding by only having one type of hookup? allow that emotional connection in 2025. Tee-hee. Okay, went over on that one, so I'm gonna have to claw back that time. Actually, I went under on the first two, so we're on time. Okay. Gay commandment for 2025, number 4, thou shalt lift our fellow queers up, give the girls their flowers. Now, I kind of touched on this already, but oh, it pains me to see people be so horrible on Instagram. Oh, not Instagram, TikTok as well. Like, I honestly just can't believe the assassination that happens in comments on TikTok and Instagram for somebody who's not even being a dick. Like, fair enough if someone's being a dick, like, call them out, right? Let them know that this kind of content doesn't fly and that they need to do better, right? But if that person is like trying to do good, if that person is starting a new business, if that person is starting a new creative concept, if that person is, I don't know, reach any kind of professional achievement or something like that, we're not going to be silent, okay? We are going to give the girls their flowers. We are going to lift each other up. We are going to act like more of a community next year, and we are going to be nice to each other online. I don't think that anybody that's listening to this podcast is one of those people that would be horrible to somebody online. I just think that if you have an interest in self-development and having a laugh, then you probably haven't got that streak in you that's fucking trolling people on social media. But because those people exist, we have to compensate for that, right? Because we're good people. So we are going to be the antithesis of them next year. We are going to go out of our way to see anybody that is queer, that is doing good. We are going to not just like the photo, we are going to comment on that photo. We are going to send them a little DM to let them know we see them, we're watching them, they're killing it. Because it means so much to those people, especially when the landscape of being vulnerable and putting a piece of work out there in a world where it could potentially go viral and get pushed to people who don't know them already, like them already, or are just like horrible cunts. You know, we have to compensate for those people basically, and next year is going to be the year where we're not just going to mindlessly consume content. We're going to engage with that content, and we are going to give the girls their flowers. Can I get an amen up in here? 2.5 minutes. Okay, we're on track. This one's going to be a short episode, but you know what? I'm not mad about it. It's Boxing Day as well. This one's being released on Boxing Day, so I hope you had a really nice Christmas. I hope that your family didn't drive you insane. If you didn't spend it with your family, I hope you got to spend it with somebody that you like. And I hope you're feeling like excited about 2025. I hope that 2025 is going to be your year. Like New Year, New Me vibes. Like, yeah. Like, not fuck New Year, New Me. I know that people shit on that, but my birthday's New Year's Eve. So every single year I start the new year, I feel like this is the year. And sometimes it's not, but every year I think it's the year. Okay, where are we? Number 5. Okay, gay commandment number 5. Thou shalt not fake top energy if thou art a true pillow princess. Let me tell you, I've been there. I know you listening right now. Go on your grinder, take out the part that says verse and then bottom, because we know you ain't on there looking for a hole, honey. You are on there looking for that D, but you are bottom shaming yourself, and you're trying to come across as like, oh, I'm not really a bottom, honey. We know why you're on there. Okay, so let's not pretend you're not a pillow princess. Stop trying to give fake top energy, because you will be disappointed if they come round and they're not giving you the energy that you want, okay? Lean into your energy. Lean into being a bottom. Don't bottom shame it. It's okay to be a full-on bottom. Not everybody wants to be verse. It's like when people say they're verse top, right? And it's like, there's no way anything is going near their hole. They're like, 3 years into a relationship, maybe they will like open their legs just to peep. It's like, stop lying. Just lean into what you are, and it is totally fine. I don't know why I don't know what the fucking psychology of that is, but like, I've done it. I'm not going to say what my role is on here because I'm a bit more demure, but I've definitely been there when I've tried to come across as something that I'm not because I feel like I'd be more attractive if I put that in my profile. But, I just think that you could then be sidelining somebody who would absolutely be insatiable for you, but actually you've kind of put them off because that's not what they're looking for. So be honest, okay? Lean into the true you and be confident in that. And that's all I have to say on that. Moving on. Okay. Gay commandment number 6. Thou shalt not spend even 1 second in an environment thine has no interest in. Ew, 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 ew. We are past the age where we are showing up for shit just for the sake of having plans. No, 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 no. Like, maybe it's because I'm past 30. I don't know. But my Friday nights, I am closing that laptop and I am ordering a takeaway and I am glued to that sofa for the rest of the evening. And let me tell you, the invites come thick and fast. Come to this, come to that, come to this. Oh, couldn't think of anything worse than putting myself in that environment because I know that I will stand there. And the only reason I'll be doing it is because my friend wanted me to come, right? And I maybe felt like I should get out the house. And I do not enjoy it for a second. And I just think, God, get me back to my sofa right now. I couldn't think of anything worse than being in this situation. We are not doing that to ourselves in 2025. Like, pick and choose the social engagements that you go to. Don't let it suck your energy. Like, do not go to that thing because you feel like you should, because your friend will be annoyed if you don't. Tell that friend to piss off. Right. My thing, right, is that when somebody says, "Do you want to go to this?" and I say no, and they say, "Why?" I say, "Because I don't want to." And I don't need to give a further explanation as to why I don't want to go. I just don't want to go. And I think that that is a valid enough excuse to not go. And I don't think you should have to explain yourself. And I don't think you should have to be in a situation that you don't want to be in. I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, it's, a family member's fucking 60th birthday and I don't know, whatever. There's certain things that we have a responsibility to show up to. But if you don't have a responsibility to show up to that thing, girly pops, don't put yourself through it. Why are you putting yourself through it? Is it people pleasing? Because you're looking at the queen of people pleasing right here. And let me tell you, people pleasing, it doesn't actually even please them. I don't think. I don't think it does. I don't think they actually care if you come or not. I think that it only does you harm. So if you are that people pleaser that goes to things that you don't want to, just because you think you're going to be more liked if you do, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Okay. Gay commandment number 7. Thou shalt not compare thy gains to another's. Now look, I see this all the time with clients. No, I don't like it. We're all on our own journey. And this doesn't have to be gains in a gym sense. It could be looking at a peer's career progression, a promotion, something you saw on LinkedIn, somebody, tooting their own trumpet or something. We're not going to compare ourselves to others in 2025. It is so out. It is doing absolutely nothing for you because we are all on our own journey. And I don't mean to sound fucking trite and wishy-washy, but I'm speaking from a place of experience of like, I am 31 and I lost my business and I had to start again. And I look at other people who are 31 whose businesses are killing it, or people in the fitness industry who are, got X amount of followers and, have that body or are doing that, whatever it is. Like, I am so guilty of comparison. And, as I sort of like approached the end of 2024, I was like, actually, I really feel like maybe for the first time in my life, I'm on the right track and I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. And if that means that I'm not going to reach the point that that person's at until I'm 38, but they're 28, so be it. That is life. And, with my clients who comparing their fitness journey to somebody that's been doing it 5 years longer than them, like, where is that going to get you? Like, when you find yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, I want you to stop and I want you to ask the question, where is this way of thinking going to get me? Like, what do I actually think I'm going to achieve by comparing myself to this person? Now, if you use it as motivation, that's fine. But like that's different if it's wow, I'm inspired and I admire that person and it's motivating me, that's a different thing. But if it is, oh my God, and it's all like down, it's like, why am I not there? I should be there, and it's all like beating yourself up, that's not okay, and we're leaving that in 2024 because that is not our story in 2025. So, number 7, thou shalt not compare thy gains to another's. Okay, moving swiftly on. Gay Commandment 2025, number 8, thou shalt not use fitness solely to thirst trap thy ex. Again, one that I picked up from having a client check in this week. Like, I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was it was more of a general vibe that I was getting rather than what they said, but it very much felt like they were getting into this journey for the absolute wrong reasons. Now, look, don't get me wrong. When we are feeling like a good version of ourselves, when we're eating well, when we're exercising, we feel sexy and we feel more confident, and that may translate to more sexual partners or more dates or something like that, right? Fine. But that can't be the reason that you go into fitness, because if it is, I'm telling you, you're going to last about 5 minutes, because it's not got the longevity that doing it for mental health reasons, that doing it for strength, that doing it for just health reasons is gonna have. And let me tell you, on the previous commandment with the comparison, like if you are going into it wanting to look a certain way, and that is the sole reason why you're going into it, you will learn the hard way that it takes a lot longer to get there than you think, and you will be looking at everybody else that is there before you, and the journey will be even slower, and you will hate it even more. It is a byproduct, let me tell you. And look, again, not coming from a high horse, coming from a place in my 20s, been there. Like, I've been working out for 10 years now, but it hasn't always been the healthiest journey for me, especially in the beginning when I was doing it to feel more masculine. I was doing it to feel more like a man so that I could be attractive to the kind of men that I was attracted to. And I guess that was the motivation for me in the beginning, but it didn't solve any problem. It didn't make me any happier on the inside, because I wasn't doing it for good intentions. And so when I reframed it and it became more about the performance and more about the strength and more about getting through a tough time and more about longevity, like all the other benefits that come with it, um, it actually became the stress of being perfect went away, because I wasn't worried so much anymore about having on and off seasons. I wasn't worried about putting on a bit of weight in the winter and working out a little bit less because I needed to maintain a very specific look at all times. I stopped striving. That striving, always striving to be better, to be leaner, to be musclier, like that went away. And it was just like, I'm on a journey and it's for me now. And so that's what I mean by thou shalt not use fitness solely to thirst trap thy ex. Thou shalt use fitness to thirst trap thyself. Yeah. Do it for you, bitch. Okay, gay commandment. I hope you're taking this all in. If you're not making notes, what are you doing? You should have a bloody pen and paper out right now, scribbling down these notes. They're not going to get posted anywhere. If you want these 10 commandments, you got to listen to this episode. And if you don't retain them, you got to go back to the beginning. You got to listen to them all over again. Gay commandment number 9. Thou shalt remember that self-care includes balance. Now, look, some people say about gains, the run club side of things, not the coaching side of things. They say, why does gains exist? And I say, oh, it's to give another option. It is to, build a community that's beyond sort of dance floor. And then I did a Christmas party. And then suddenly I thought this was the opposite of what you were preaching for gains. No, 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 sweetheart. Gains is not puritanical. We are not on some moral high ground, saying, ew, if you go out partying, boo, like, shame on you. If you take drugs and you drink alcohol, like, that is not what gains is. Gains is simply going, okay, that's a part of culture that's really fun, but also don't want to do that all the time. Want to have a little bit more balance. So, gonna do this 3 weeks out of the month, and then I'm gonna go and do Adonis or Feel It or whatever once a month and let my hair down. Like, it's just that. And like, next year is about having balance. Like, eat that burger, but don't eat it every day. Go on that night out, but don't do it every week. Suck that dick, but not 2 in 1 day. Actually, well, if you want to do 2 in 1 day, that's out. And I'm not slut shaming anybody here. Like, if you want to do it, do it. But like, don't be insatiable next year. Find the balance. We're finding the balance. And maybe that balance for you is maybe you're too much the other way. Maybe you are working like an absolute workhorse and you are not allowing yourself time in the evening to switch off. And you're like heading one-way ticket to burnout. Like, next year we are going to have balance. We're going to look at the areas of our lives where we feel stress and tension. And that could be, you may be feeling stressed because you've been going out too much and you don't feel clear-headed at work. That's a point of tension. Maybe you have been ordering a bit too many Deliveroos and you're starting to feel a bit sluggish and it's not feeling good at all. You've lost the balance. Maybe you are spending a little bit too much time scrolling on Grindr and it is causing a point of tension for you. Maybe you're spending too much time working and not enough time with your partner and they're getting annoyed. We're all guilty of tipping the balance somewhere. And I say, in 2025, thou shalt remember that self-care includes balance, right? Do it all. You've just got to do it all in moderation. Do not swing the pendulum too far one way, because from my experience, when you swing the pendulum too far one way, the pendulum swings right back the other way, and it's not pretty. So find that balance. Oh my God, we're number 10 already. God, that's gone fast. Well, it's gone fast for me. You're probably thinking, oh my God, when is this fucking episode going to be over? Okay, gay commandment number 10, above all, thou shalt love thyself, for thou art fearfully and wonderfully queer. This year, we shall not be censoring the parts that we feel shame around. We will announce that we were Connor the Cum Dump on podcasts. For those are the parts of us that we must cherish because they made us who we are today. And going back to what was it I said? What commandment was it where I said that you were a pillow princess? Again, don't censor that part of yourself. We had a podcast episode a few weeks ago talking about gayness and blackness in a professional environment and censoring ourselves there. Let me tell you a story. For years, even though I was an influencer in inverted commas, I wasn't really, but I was working as a barriers trainer and I was, in the fitness industry and I was getting followers for that position that I had. And I never posted a video of myself online because I was like embarrassed of my voice because I had a gay voice. And again, like, this was at the time when, remember, I was like putting on muscle mass to feel more masculine because I'd been this sort of like, faggy camp twink, in my youth, and I didn't feel attractive. And I went about going into fitness for completely the wrong reasons. And at that point in my early career, my early 20s, like, I just would not have any sort of footage of me speaking online because my mannerisms and my voice would give me away as somebody that was camp. And then I remember I went to World Pride, New York. And so we're talking all the way up until 2019, right? That's how long this tension with me being camp went on for. And I went to New York World Pride and I was in Fire Island and I met, a bunch of New York and LA gays. And we were fucking wearing high heels and wigs and, I was attracted to these guys and they were wearing high heels and wigs and we were just being, complete fags and just being authentically ourselves. And they found me attractive and I found them attractive. And I just was observing them and just thinking, oh my God, like I just am so inspired and admire the fact that these guys are just being completely themselves. And I just hadn't experienced it, I don't think, in London. And maybe it's because I was in the fitness industry and I remember my first ever fitness class. Well, when I was training to be a Barry's trainer, and I was told, "Oh, you need to tone down the campness a little bit because people just won't take you seriously. You need to sort of like man up a little bit." And so that sort of was in my head that, in order to be in the fitness industry, I needed to be more masculine and I couldn't be that version of myself because people wouldn't take me seriously. And fuck that. Piss off. Be yourself. Be yourself. Like, lean into the parts of you that do feel a bit quirky. Lean into the parts of you that do feel camp. Wear what you want to wear. Like, be that version of yourself. Don't censor yourself. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, I get we do it to ourselves because of the world that we live in, but start small. Go to that gay party wearing what you want to wear, being how you want to be. Post that video on Instagram if you're that way inclined, where it is a bit more vulnerable and exposing. Lean into the authentic version of yourself, and only good can come from that. And they are the 10 Commandments. So I'm going to run through them again, just top level. 1, thou shalt not ghost thy Tinder dates without a good cause. We're not doing it. 2, thou shalt not judge a twink by his glitter. We're going to be nice to everyone this year and every year going forwards. 3, thou shalt not let hookups overshadow emotional connection. 4, thou shalt lift our fellow queers up and give the girls their flowers. 5, thou shalt not fake top energy if thou art a true pillow princess. You hear me? 6, thou shalt not spend even a second in an environment thine has no interest in. 7, thou shalt not compare thy gains to another's. 8, thou shalt not use fitness solely to thirst trap thy ex. 9, thou shalt remember that self-care includes balance. 10, above all, thou shalt love thyself, for thou art fearfully and wonderfully faggoty. I didn't say that, I said queer. Guys, well, look, it's Boxing Day. We've got Gooch Week coming up. This is the week in between Christmas and New Year where nobody knows what day it is. We just know it by the dates. What are you doing on the 27th? What are you doing on the 28th? What day of the week is that? Who cares? Nobody knows. And, we're gearing up for a new year. And I like New Year's. I think that they should be a time when we should start afresh. I know that there's a lot of data out there that says that if you do start a new goal on New Year's Eve or something, you're much more likely to fail than if you start it at a random time or whatever. I've seen the data. I don't give a fuck. We are going to be different people in 2025. We're leaning in to the most powerful version of ourselves. And I hope these last 2 solo episodes just can help you get a little bit more towards that. I hope you can be that, cum dump that you've always wanted to be. Guys, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, show us the love. Louis is going to be back in the next episode after him swanning off for the month of December. And we're going to be back to business as usual. But I've loved our little alone time together. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year.